Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about Mesa. I've got an in-game build using the arcane hotshot, and I'm going to be showing that off. In case if you don't have that arcane, because I know it is still like fairly newer and still kind of hard to get to because you have to do 1999 and everything, and trading with it can be a little expensive. So I'm going to be showing a little budget version of that. So I'm just going to jump into things here. For the Archon shards that I have 4 Topaz shards for the additional crit rate. Normally I'll say, like these are all subjective or you can run whatever you want to, but for Mesa and what she does, Peacemaker and all, she kind of does really want these. If you don't have them, I understand. You can like try and work towards them, but she does very much enjoy crit rate on her secondaries. The last shard I have here is the Amber Shard. This is for max energy on spawn, just 45%. I like this just so I've got some energy to cast my abilities, use Peacemaker, and just kind of gun things down really quick, and then I can like get the ball rolling, if you will. This is not really needed. This is just a comfort thing for me. If you wanted this to be a 5th Topaz mod Topaz Shard, excuse me, for more crit rate, have at it. If you want this to be for casting speed, have at it. You can put whatever you want here. This slot isn't that big of a deal, but these 4 you probably want to try and aim for the Topaz crit rate shards. And then going over the build. Before I get into like the main build here, I do want to highlight the budget kind of version of this. It doesn't have to be pillage. This is just what I have on this config. So the subsume can be whatever you want it to be. This could be nourish, roar, whatever. But in terms of the budget option, what we used to do is we used to run combat discipline here, and then this can be a lower ranked combat discipline, so you don't take as much like health damage when you kill something. But when you do take that health damage, Arcane Avenger procs, and then that gives you an extra boost in your crit rate. This is not as much as Hotshot, that's why we kind of all moved over towards Hotshot, but if you're like building up to it and you just can't quite get up there yet, the Arcane Avenger plus Combat Discipline, this is a really great choice, and this is what we did for a while. So if you don't have Hotshot, again, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just use this combination of Aura Mod and Arcane to just get you that same additional crit rate effect. Again, not as much, but it's going to be fairly similar. So looking at the mods here for our the main build I run using Nourish. So I've got Corrosive Projection in the Aura, and then I have Mesa's Waltz here in the Exila slot. Mesa's Waltz, this can really be whatever you'd want it to be. I just like rolling around in her 4. This could be something like Preparation if you wanted to get rid of the Archon shard that I have for the energy on spawn. This could be Prime Sheer-Footed. This could be... No, I think it's really just those 3 options. I mean, you can put up here whatever you want it to be, but I think those 3 are probably the best ones, being Mesa's Waltz, Prime Sheer-Footed, and Preparation. I think those are probably your 3 like main go-tos. I've got Prime Flow and Equilibrium for energy, and then this pairs really well with Nourish, so I'm basically always fine on energy. Narrow-minded, we love duration, we don't give a shit about range, so the negative range doesn't really affect Mesa at all. Umbral Intensify, Umbral Vitality, the little dual Umbral set here, and then with Adaptation, this helps us with tankiness with the Shatter Shield here, giving us 95% damage reduction, and then that's on top of adaptation, so that really helps us out. Blind Rage for a lot of power strength here. We don't really care about the negative efficiency, because with Nourish and Equilibrium and Prime Flow and everything, there's a lot of energy to basically go through, and I haven't really ran into energy problems. And then to round out everything, Prime Continuity. Again, like I said, for narrow-minded, Mesa likes duration. Duration good. We're using the duration prime mod. Makes sense. Alright. So for the arcanes, we have Arcane Velocity. On critical hit, there's a 90% chance, so it's pretty high, to get an extra 120% fire rate for your pistols. Mesa's regulators absolutely love fire rate. So this is a hot shot. I mean, this can obviously go away for the Arcane Avenger if you're using the other build, but if I would very much encourage you to get Arcane Velocity if you can. This is basically Mesa's Arcane. And then the star of the show here, basically, Arcane Hotshot. When you cause a bunch of heat procs on an ability, which, again, that is what her regulators are. The regulators are the star of the show here, her little aimbot slideshow. You get a bunch of crit rate, and when it's all the way maxed up, you get 6 per additional status, or heat status, and then that's up to 50 times. So that's 300% additional crit rate. So yeah, ends up being quite a lot, especially with the topaz shards and everything. The companion, you're going to want this to. You can have it realistically be whatever you want, so long as it's a companion that has a lot of shields, so that you can run reinforced bond. Because for this one, this gives you an additional 60% fire rate when your companion shields are 1200 or more. So this is the big reason why I'm running Worm here, because this is just the easiest way that I can have to just kind of throw a reinforcement bond in this. So this is the big mod to include with your companion. This is how I run my Worm, and that's really about it. I'm using the Burst Laser Prime here, just something, I guess, to prime in status. Again, the main reason I have it isn't really for the priming, although that is nice, don't get me wrong. But the main reason here is just for the fire rate, for the reinforced bond. And let's go over the regulators here, and then I'll go over the other weapons that I'm using. So the regulators, so I have these set for primarily just heat, because that's what stacks up the hot shot, so that's how I have those built, with Scorch, and then the primed heated charge, more fire rate with lethal torrent, and then anemic agility giving us 90% fire rate, which is really good. Crit damage, crit rates, standard duo, and then the galvanized mods here. Galvanized shot giving us a bunch of damage for the statuses we inflict, because Mesa applies a good bit of status. And then for the arcane here, I'm running secondary fortifier, so this just shreds overguard, and then you get to take the overguard as well. So this makes Mesa, in combination with all of the adaptation and whatnot in the main build, this makes her pretty hardy. And I'm a big fan of running secondary fortifier on Mesa myself for survivability. If you really like using secondary encumber like here, or you want to use secondary flare, Cascadia flare, excuse me, for more damage, I would recommend using a build maybe like this. I would include the magnetic status here also if you're having issues with like getting through shields. If you're not running fortifier, overguard and whatnot could be a little bit of an issue, so I would recommend using the magnetic mod here, the magnetic might, to just go ahead and just kind of chomp through overguard and chomp through shields and just have that not really be a concern. This can, if you think this is too much fire rate, you can also change this to just be a little bit more for damage, for something like the prime convulsion here for the electricity, and then you can go ahead and then slot in, oh, where is it? Here we go. Pistol Pestilence, and then you can have magnetic and corrosive and heat and all these things. Just know that if you are doing all of this with Arcane Hotshot, because Arcane Hotshot relies on heat statuses, since you're using a lot of statuses on your secondary, well, on your peacemakers here, or regulators, you're not going to get as many heat procs because there's a lot of other statuses for you to proc. So the uptime for it may not be all of that, or it's going to take you longer to build up to that 50 heat status maximum that you can. And then if it drops, it's going to take you that much longer to go ahead and build it up. But this is an option that you can run and whatnot, but I preferred the other build with the Magnetic Might, the Lethal Torrent, and then the Anemic Agility here myself. I'm going to be showing this off to show that this is fine and you don't really need the more damage here, but that's just a me thing. And again, you're more than welcome to build the regulators as you want. And then for the secondary, this can be whatever priming mod you really want it to be, but I like using secondary outburst, because then when you come out of your regulators and you can just Y or triangle or just swap your weapons, and then you'll get whatever the combo is on your melee, which I'll get to here in a second. You'll get that as additional crit rate, and then that can help you get a little bit closer to those red crits by building up some combo with that. When this is used, though, so long as it isn't additional combo, you will have to build it back. But there are mods that you can use to go ahead and just have a naturally kind of high initial combo that I'm going to showcase. So the mods here aren't really overly necessary. This is just stuff that I have for priming. The main thing here is secondary outburst. And then for the melee, this one is a little important. So you do want the Furax, and you want this mod, the Amalgam Furax body count. So this will give you, in addition to the 15 combo, this will give you, or 15 combo duration, excuse me. This will give you 45% more fire rate. So between all of our fire rate options, we have about 300% fire rate on Mesa. So that's why I showcased earlier, if you wanted to take off the fire rate from her regulators and just add more damage, that is a thing that you can do. In my testing, the more fire rate, the better, has always kind of been just better for me personally. But if you feel like just having more damage on the regulators, or, you know, maybe you think this is enough fire rate for you, that's fine. And then here, the Corrupt Charge, this is the initial combo to go ahead and trigger the outburst. I am running a Riven here for more additional combo. This does help quite a bit with getting me more into the red crits. This is not needed at all, although it is kind of fun to do. What you can do is you can get finisher kills with Crescendo, and then these won't go away either, but setting all of this up can be a little cumbersome, especially if you're just doing like a quick mission. So I just kind of switch to these, and then this winds up being fine. Again, you do not need the Riven, so don't go and spend a lavish amount of plat on some Riven. But yeah, this is Mesa. The primary doesn't really matter. It's mostly just the secondary. And Eleanor's talking. It's really just the primary and then the secondary and then the melee that really matter the most. Because most of the kills that you're going to get are just going to be from the regulators themselves. So primary can kind of be whatever you want it to be. It could be another priming option. It could just be a delete option or something like that. Granted, that's largely what her regulators do.
Give them all warriors' death.
Alright.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold
And a
on.
little bit of
I'm
nerf.
sending auxiliary
Look at
life
shooting
support.
gallery. Look at shatter shield. And here we go. And they're gone. Where's the rest? Here we go. And as you can see, kind of moving around here with, and then I swap over, and then yep, and then that just helps you get more consistent red crits. So again, not needed, just nice just for a secondary outburst. Because as you come in and out of your 4, you'll just kind of naturally just swap between things. This is old Mesa.
Life support incoming.
We've got to build. Haven't ran into an Ectomite yet because I don't have any overguard. There we go. Let's see, am I on the shield path? Nope, I am. I'm just tearing through
I've
things.
delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
A little bit more energy here. Go. Yep, this is just Mesa doing Mesa things with her aimbot. Not too much to see here, but I haven't played Mesa in a little bit, so I kind of like playing Mesa. There's some overguard and deleted. So that's a big reason why I really like having Fortifier. Is just so anything with overguard just kind of deleted, and then I was in a Porpoise mission a little bit before a few weeks ago, and none of those shields were bothered me too much, but I figured I would mention adding, you know, magnetic and whatnot to people who have had issues with those and whatnot. Figured it's nice to list out all the options that you kind of can get. And I've got some focus systems too. That's always nice.
I've delivered another
See,
life
look at
support capsule.
I had almost no energy, and then I just ran over a bunch of health and energy orbs, and boom, 100. And violence is deleted. Yep, that's about normal. Yep. Just about done with all of this. Alrighty. Foley's going to be around the corner soon, so I can't wait to actually play with her or whatnot. I'm also curious to see what other augment they're going to have in the future for other work. Although some of the Tenojin that I saw in the live stream. Yep. This is Mesa, not too much to go on for, just making sure that, you know, you're swapping the your secondary and whatnot if you want to keep your outbursts up and going. But yeah, this is Mesa. Alright, now we're just about done here. Am I going this way, or am I going... I guess right, haha.
To a successful start. When you need it.
Alright, well that was fun. I haven't used Mesa in a while. Just kind of deleting and like swiping right and just killing everything is always kind of fun. Alright, well, I hope you liked the video. I hope I showed you something useful. There's more content on the way. Thanks for watching. Take care. Later.